Hello everyone. Welcome to the lecture series on Renewable Energy Engineering. I am Neeli Trivedi, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Let us start our study on wind energy. So we have already studied about the wind energy and so on, but in this session we will study about the forces generally on the blade and torque of the windmill generated, aerodynamic forces acting on the system and windmill blades, and power versus wind velocity characteristic, etc. So let us start. So as you see, now let us start our study based on the forces and the torque of the windmill. So as you know the equation of power, so power is equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, now there is a relation of 2 pi n by 60. So what is 2 pi n? So it is omega. So here we can write torque T is equal to P by omega. Okay, now omega it is related with the velocity. Okay, and velocity is related with the diameter. So that we can write omega as pi d n if you remember. So finally we can write down torque T is equal to P upon pi d n as you see at here. So this will be our first equation if you mention. Now diameter. So diameter and area are correlated. So what is the equation of area? It is pi by 4 d square. Hence we can find out the diameter as all. Now here as you remember the equation as power P, it means total power or the efficiency. So efficiency is equal to power upon total power. Okay, so power generated by the total power. So here we can write power generated as eta into PT. What is eta? It is the efficiency, and PT is equal to total power. Now we have already studied the equation of total power. So what is the equation of total power? So it is 1 by 8 rho d square V1 cube. It is the equation of PT. Now let us put the equation of PT in our torque equation. We can find out T is equal to eta 1 by 8 rho d square V1 cube. Okay. Now here upon pi d n, because divided by omega is there. Now here let us put the equation or the value of efficiency eta. So what is the efficiency eta? The efficiency eta value we have already discussed in our previous session. It is 16 by 27. Okay, so that we can write power P is equal to 16 by 27 multiplied by the remaining value. What is the remaining value? It is 1 by 8 rho d V1 cube by n. So finally we will get the final answer as, which is torque maximum, because we are putting the efficiency, maximum efficiency value in our equation. So finally we will get 2 by 27 rho d V1 cube by n. Okay. So now let us find out the axial force equation. Okay. Now what is the axial force? So axial force is equal to rho A by 2, or we can write half of rho into A, V1 square minus V2 square. So it is the axial force equation. Clear? Now let us put the value of area A. And what is the equation of area A? It is pi by 4 d square. So finally we will get the axial force equation as pi by 8 rho d square V1 square minus V2 square. Now if we want to find out the maximum axial force, okay, then we have to write down the maximum velocity equation. So here we have already got the equation as V2 is equal to 1/3 of V1. So let us put this equation for getting the maximum axial force, so that we will get Fx maximum as 1 by 8 rho d square V1 square minus 1 by 9 V1 square. What did we do? We simply put the value of V2 in the equation. Okay. So now if we solve this equation, finally we will get maximum axial force as pi by 9 rho d square v1 square. So this is the axial force equation. And now if you see this equation, axial force is directly proportional to the velocity. Okay, because in this case density is constant, diameter is constant, it cannot be changed according to the system, but velocity is the variable value. Okay, so force is directly proportional to the velocity square and generally input velocity square. Okay, so now let us move towards the aerodynamic forces. Now student, these all forces are very important to us. Now as you see, consider the blade as shown in the diagram. This is the blade. Now in this diagram, I modify this diagram so that you can understand it. So here it is the blade. Now it is moving on this plane, okay, and which is the horizontal plane. We are considering the horizontal plane, and the wind flows tangentially, and this wind flow is known as tangential wind force or tangential velocity. It means it is represented as Vt in the plane of rotation, as you see. Now Vr is the resulting wind velocity, okay, which is the vector sum of tangential velocity and impinging wind velocity. What is impinging velocity? So it is velocity v in our case. Velocity v, it means inside wind flow. Okay, so here let us consider this v as a impinging wind velocity. Okay, now the lift force. So what is the lift force? It is Fl, as you see in this diagram. Fl, which is perpendicular to the resultant velocity Vr, as you see. Okay, and finally we are getting the drag force, which is known as Fd. Okay, and which is parallel to Vd. Clear? So this is our diagram. Now here let us see the lift force Fl. So here it is represented with a different color, which is the lift force Fl, and drag force Fd and Fr. Okay, so what is the resultant force? Resultant force is Fr is the combination or the final resultant of lift force Fl and drag force Fd. Okay, now if we want to resolve this Fr into two different forces, one will generate the Ft, which is responsible for the tangential force. So if we see at here there are two different angles also. One is alpha and one is beta. So if you see at here, V, what is V? It is impinging wind velocity. What is Vt? It is the wind velocity in a plane of rotation. What is Vr? It is the resultant wind velocity. What is Fl? It is the lift force. What is Fd? It is the drag force. What is Fr? It is the resultant force. What is Ft? It is a component of Fr producing the torque. What is alpha? It is angle of attack. And what is beta? It is a pitch angle. Okay. Now, if we check or make a graph about power and velocity, as we see in the diagram. So here, as we see in the diagram, power P is directly proportional to the velocity. It means V cube. Power P is directly proportional to the velocity V cube. So here we draw the diagram of power versus velocity, and according to the velocity rises, it will give us the parabolic curve. Now let us check the idealistic characteristic of a wind turbine. So if we want to check the idealistic characteristic as shown in the diagram, there are A, B, C, D and E. Okay. Just at a point A there is the velocity Va, at a point E there is a velocity Ve. Okay. Now if we see at here Va known as cut in speed, Ve is known as cut out speed. Now what is cut in speed? It means at a speed where the turbine will rotate. Okay. And what is cut out speed? It means where the connection between the rotor and the generator will detach. Okay. So here between A to E, the blade or the rotor rotates. Now as you see the graph B to C. Okay, now what the graph B2C represents? So B2C represents the rising of wind velocity with the rising of the power. Okay, so the power will be raised as we see in our previous diagram. P to V, P is directly proportional to VQ. So according to the velocity, the power will rise. Okay, now with respect to B to C, it is a steady graph, and this steady graph will represent the steadiness of this system. Okay, so this is the graph. Now let us understand the power coefficient of the system. So let us start with the definition. The power coefficient of a wind machine is the ratio of power output from the wind turbine and power available. So Cp is equal to power output from the wind machine upon power available in the wind. So it is the maximum theoretical power coefficient and the value is 0.593. Okay, so this is power coefficient. What is the definition? It is power output by the power available. Okay, so now let us understand some more. Now this topic is based on the wind velocity, okay, and the height from the ground as you see in this diagram. Generally, velocity V is directly proportional to the height raised to 1/7. This is the standard criteria at what height the wind flows or at what height what is the velocity. Generally, these criteria are used above the 10 meter and more, so it means up to 10 meter to 200 meter height. This criteria is used. Below the 10 meter, we cannot use this kind of criteria. Now, why it is required? Because we have to put the windmill at very much height, and the velocity is directly proportional to the height is to 1/7. So this will give us the basic understanding of how much wind will flow up to the certain limit. It means wind velocities at a certain height, like in open areas, on the mountains, in the desert and offshores and coastal areas, we can understand it. Okay, now let us study the design consideration of horizontal axis machine. Okay, the basic component and some basic relation of the main design consideration are, what are the basic components? They are rotor, solidity, tip ratio, number of blades of rotor and blade design. Okay, so now let us discuss about the rotor. Okay, wind turbine's rotor may have any number of blades, maybe single number or 2 or 3 or 4, maximum up to 4. No, but maximum up to number of blades, whatever they are in its periphery can be useful. Generally, initially blades were made of wood, but right now it is made of a metal or polymer structure. Okay, so this is the basic parameter, but we have to consider the chopping effect of a blade also, right? Because blade will cut the wind flow and will create tremendous power. With respect to the blade, we will generate the power only. Okay, so blade are very much important. Now solidity. So solidity is the projected area of a rotor. The equation of solidity we will discuss later on, but solidity is the projected area of a rotor on the plane perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Okay, so whatever the axis of rotation, the perpendicular area is known as solidity. Okay, generally high solidity rotor is used to generate the high torque, and due to the high torque we will gain more and more power. I hope you can understand the solidity one. Now tip ratio, it is generally denoted by lambda, and it is having lots of equation and we will study later on with this. But tip ratio, it means ratio of a speed of a rotor tip to the surface. Okay, so we will study it very well. Now in this case we have to study the number of blades of a rotor. As we have discussed, there are number of blades like 1 or 2 or 3 or more. There are different kind of number of blade of a rotor, and whichever the number of blade, it will give us the basic equation based on the number of blades. Okay, now shape of a rotor, shape of a device. So in a few devices, the blades has a constant core, okay, and a constant length. In some of the device, it may not have the constant length. In general rule, better performance is obtained with the blades that having some arc with the narrow tip. Okay, so we will get the more and more power. Now let us explain the tip ratio. Now V tip is equal to speed of the ratio, ratio of a tip, it means velocity of a tip. Now what is V? It is a free wind of speed, so we have to consider this. Now generally the lambda value, which is known as the lambda 1, this lambda value is completely depend upon, is completely vary between 1 to 10. If it is 1 to 3, it is used for the water pumping. It means wind turbine will use for the water pumping. And it is between 4 to 10, it is used for the wind electricity generation. Okay, now if it is having low solidity rotor, generally we are considering that low solidity rotor is having a very high tip ratio. Okay, and what is the tip ratio? V tip by V. Okay, velocity at the tip by original velocity of a wind. Now what is axial force? So axial force equation in our case is half of rho A1 V1 A1 Vi square. We are considering Vi, we can use any of the velocity. So here what is torque? So T maximum is equal to force into radius. So we have to write F maximum into R. Here rho is the density, A is the swept area, and Vi is the velocity of a wind. Okay. So now what is the T max? It is half of rho A1 Vi square into R. Now here let us consider the machine produces the shaft torque. It is denoted as torque coefficient. Okay, now CT, as you see in our diagram, CT is equal to torque coefficient. So CT is equal to T upon T maximum. So what is the torque T? We can write CT into T maximum. Now we have to write the lambda equation. What is the lambda? It is Vi by V1. So Vi is equal to R omega upon V1. Okay. So R is equal to, we can write Vi lambda by omega. Okay. So now here we can write T maximum as 1 by 2 rho A1 V1 cube. Okay. So that and multiply by V1 lambda by omega. So finally we can write rho A1 V1 cube lambda by omega by 2. So this is the T maximum. We can write PA lambda by omega. So what is PA? It is power in the wind. So here you have to remember this equation, the PA equation. So now what is total power? It is T into omega. What is power coefficient? So Cp is equal to Pt by Pa. Okay, so we can write Pt is equal to Cp into Pa. We can write is power available. Okay, available power. Power in a wind, it means available power. So we can write Pa into Cp is equal to T into omega if we solve this equation. So finally we can write Cp into Pa is equal to Ct into T maximum into omega. So finally we can write Cp is equal to lambda into Ct. Now remaining two steps you have to consider by your own. Now if we consider the maximum value of Cp, as we have already discussed, is 0.593. So if we are considering the ideal case, Ct maximum coefficient of torque maximum as 0.593 by lambda. Okay, so this is our study of wind energy. Student, thank you all of you for watching this video. If you have any query, you can contact me. See, these all are the basic equations only. So if you have any query, you can ask.